So, you are welcome to the AFB Gala. Somebody said, amen. Right. You're very welcome. This is our fourth gala and our very first award ceremony. And it's a real pleasure to have you all here. Surely Wednesday is the Hilton Hotel is the place to be on a night like this, because it's so much fun. Thank you so much for coming. We first of all like to give props to a few people. We'd like to thank our keynote speaker today, Deirdre. Thank you so much for coming. Put your hands together for her. You may not know this, but she's used to hanging out around far more classy company. Sorry. Just last week, she was in Buckingham Palace, receiving her OBE from Prince Charles. Congratulations. We'd like to congratulate all of our finalists. As they say at the Oscars, you're all winners. That's what I'm told they say. But to be honest, I think the judges would agree with me. It was actually really difficult to decide who the winners are. Speaking about the judges, I'd like to just say thank you to some of the amazing people that helped us out with the awards. I'm speaking, of course, of the Chief Executive of Oil and Gas Innovation Centre, Ian Phillips. The Skills and Employment Issues Manager for Oil and Gas UK, Dr. Alex Tom. So if you have any employment issues, you know who to go to. And one of our very own, Ugo Uzu of Schlumberger fame. Where is he? One of our judges. They found it really hard. Now, as Nick has said, AFB started in the southeast of London, or as my vicar likes to say, straight out of Croydon. We want to just say thank you to all of the wonderful members of the AFB family that traveled all the way from the Big Smoke to sunny Aberdeen. Let's put our hands together for them. Where are they? Where are the AFB London? You're quiet for Londoners. Two sets of people have been needed to make this event what it is. So I'm just going to ask for a moment, if you are a member, a friend, a supporter, a mentor, a tormentor of AFBE, would you like to just stand up and let's put our hands together for them? All of the AFB members, can you stand up and be counted, be recognized? Yeah, stand up on your feet. If you're a supporter, a member, let's just put our hands together for them, because everything that you're looking at has their fingerprints all over it. Thank you. I was about to bust a move there, but I thought, I don't want to put the Aberdeen Bangor crew to shame, One must be humble about these things. The other group of people, and this is the first time we can actually say this in Scotland, our sponsors. Let's put our hands together for them. As Nick, my boss, actually, I've got to give her props as well. See, she's the Khaleesi has come to Westeros, so let's put our hands together for Nick as well. Thank you very much to our sponsors. Thank you to Shell, Schlumberger, the Royal Academy of Engineering, BP, and every other sponsor. Thank you very much. So, thank you and welcome to the AFB family. In the words of my vicar, once again, dearly beloved, we are gathered here for two reasons. There is a greater demand for engineering talent than there is available. That's point number one. Point number two is that the answer, we believe, lies in diversity and education. about £455.6 billion gets generated by engineering companies. According to a report from 2015, that's 27% of all the tax take. Engineering UK have also reported that 27 billion per year can be raised by engineering companies if they can get the people, if they can fill the 257,000 vacancies that's needed in order to bridge that gap. Only 7.8% of the engineering workforce is from a BME background. This is compared to about 13 or 14% of the UK population that's BME. Now, you may think that, you might think like engineers and think that that's not really much of a big deal. But when you think about this, 25% of engineering undergrads are BME compared to this 8% that is in the workforce. Out of that 8%, at least only 80% of that percentage can actually be described as true products of the system. And this is the reason why AFBE exists. We started out as a conversation between me and my sister, having a conversation particularly about the lack of role models that we could find in industry, and also about the fact that there were quite a number of social issues in the area that we were living. We went out with a kind of excitement to tell people about what we wanted to do, and we were quite amazed at how many people were really interested in the AFBE vision. Normally, you go to people and describe a vision, and you expect to leave with saying, don't hate, congratulate. But actually, what it was is that they were really interested. They were really interested, and they were really enthusiastic. And they could see the reasons that we wanted to do this. They could share that commonality of experience that a lot of people who are minorities in engineering or in an industry kind of understand and immediately recognize. And that was why they wanted to support us. And so we went out into schools. We talked to people in what we call the Make Engineering Hot campaign. We went mainly to inner city schools and talked to our young people. And we found very often that they were very interested. Some of those people are now engineers. Actually, you were watching a video there. That video was from 2015. You would have noticed that that was a slightly more model-like version of me. Just saying. Many of those young people that you see there are now at uni. And we believe that a huge part of that has been the input that people in our team have provided. And that is what the AFBE is about. We found that as we went into schools and talked to people that there was actually a lot of interest. It's just that these people didn't have the role models that they could look up to. When we did a survey, we found that the young people in those schools would often refer to the AFBE member as the only example of an engineer they knew. And this was what tells us that what we're doing is worth it. Now, I don't want you to think that we are just kind of coming in to save the day. We learn something from the kids as well. We learn a lot of things. They add to our vocabulary, for example. Did you know that engineering is smegsy? Yeah. That's smart and sexy to you and me. As in Wakanda forever, smart and sexy. Did you know that heat transfer is peng? And I can see all the process engineers know, I'm not talking about Peng Robinson. I'm talking about hot. You need to get down with the streets, fam. We found that they were really interested. Now, I moved up here in 2010. Don't know why, but I moved up in 2010. And I spoke to a number of people. One of the very first people I spoke to was this smooth guy. Where is he? Edwin. Where's Edwin? I spoke to him, and he went out and just found lots of people, and we had our first meeting. And it was very interesting. I then spoke to other people like Siji and people like Roy and other people, and they kind of directed AFBE in the direction of looking at employability. And that was what started the transition program. Transition program is now being started in Aberdeen, made in Aberdeen, is now being practiced in over 7 universities. And we've got companies like Bloomberg and WSP and Mott MacDonald who have invited AFBE to run the transition program. For the last 3 years, we run it in a row with our friends here from Shell, and it's such a fulfilling experience. So these are the things that we want to do. So what's AFBE about? What are our key programs? Our key programs are the Next Gen or Make Engineering Hot, which we showed on the video. We have the transition program, which quite a few people here have been on, which is an employability seminar. And we want to, in the words of Isaac Newton, help our young people to look further by standing on the shoulders of giants, by learning from real engineers who have worked on real projects. There is something really powerful and really helpful about getting into a student's mind. These are the problems, these are the issues that you face, these are the problems that you face on a big project. And these things just become a part of their mind so that when they get into industry, they are able to add value. You will know that IT and different surveys have shown that 53% of engineering employers think that the quality of graduates that come through, even from good universities, often don't have the skills that it takes to add value. So that's what the transition program and what the real projects are about. So you might ask, Ollie, why are you telling me about all of this? Well, there are a number of things we would like you to do for us. We would like you to take the advice of my other brother from another mother, the original man's not hot. I'm speaking, of course, of Vanilla Ice. He said, stop, collaborate, and listen. I had to get that in there. He wants you and I to stop, collaborate, and listen. And that's what we're asking you to do. We're asking you to come and join organizations like Shell and become one of our partners. We're asking you to invite us into your companies and host employability programs so that we can run it. We're asking you to join companies like Bloomberg and WSP and the Royal Academy of Engineering and the Institution of Engineering and Technology in becoming corporate members of AFBE. Because just by doing that, you can actually make a difference. There are far too many programs that run on their own, when actually what they could do is link up with an organization that sees that as their primary responsibility and support that organization. So that's what we're asking from you today, to become one of the organizations that support us. So how can you do this? You can become one of our members. You can go onto the website and you can find out how other organizations have done this. And we really appreciate the support that we get from you. Now, I want you to do one more thing for me before I shut up and go sit down, which is to just look around you for a minute. Look at the people around you. Every one of these people represent companies, friendships, relationships. They all represent ideas. And it's always amazing that you just never know when you start off with an idea just how far it can go. When Nikki and I first had this conversation in 2011, or even when Edwin and I first had a conversation in 2011, we didn't imagine that we'd be standing here talking to you cool people about AFBE. Now we can look at this and say, after 11 years in the UK, 7 years in Scotland, over 300 subscribed members, over 5 corporate members, over 6,000 people who are affected, over 1,000 transition students, over 1,000 next geners, after 9,000 plus Lego blocks. We've come here to tell you to come and be part of something great. Be part of this organization. Anybody can be a member. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. And I'm about to say Shimon after that. Anyone can be a member. Just come and join us. Be part of something great. Thank you very much.